Facebook needs to be taught a stern lesson and pay for UK news, the head of Britain's Digital Culture and Media Committee said, as the company's Australian blackout continues to produce worldwide retaliation. Facebook's move to block all media content in Australia is a staggeringly irresponsible attempt to bully a democracy and will stiffen the resolve of legislators across the world to get tough with the technology giant, British Tory MP Julian Knight said Thursday. The deeply disturbing action by Facebook has plunged the country into a state of shock after it chose to block news content rather than comply with the new law set to be passed in Australia in the coming days, which will force it to pay news organisations for hosting their stories. Among those urging people to delete the app was Steven Sciullo, former Facebook Australia CEO, who slammed the alarming move and accused Mark Zuckerberg of being driven primarily by money and power. The ban also took down 4 regional Australia health agencies responsible for distributing information on the COVID pandemic, a move denounced by media groups, politicians and human rights groups in Australia and beyond. Australian politicians are currently debating new laws requiring big tech companies to compensate news outlets for stories they host on their platforms. The law, the News Media Bargaining Code, was being debated by Parliament this week, with ministers voting to approve it on Wednesday night. It will become the first such law requiring tech giants to compensate publishers for hosting their content. The idea has gained momentum internationally, with Microsoft President Brad Smith last week encouraging the US and EU to follow suit. Meanwhile, Facebook announced last year that it would pay US news organizations including the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post and USA Today for headlines. Google too had threatened to pull its search engine from Australia in response to the legislation. But the search giant backflipped in recent weeks, striking deals with Rupert Murdoch's News Corp and Nine Entertainment. Australia's 2 largest free-to-air TV stations, Seven West Media and Nine Entertainment, have already reportedly struck deals with Google collectively worth $60 million a year. News publishers view Facebook's tactics as evidence that the company, which also owns Instagram and WhatsApp, cannot be trusted as the industry's gatekeeper. Facebook shares traded down 1.5% on Thursday in a sign of market nerves about the sudden escalation in tensions. The Chinese Communist regime's exploitation of the Uyghur minority has been a widely criticised issue. During his last day in office, former US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo took time to address this crime against humanity. I believe this genocide is ongoing and that we are witnessing the systematic attempt to destroy Uyghurs by the Chinese Party state, he said in a statement. Now it seems as if the CCP has an international ally in its campaign to suppress Uyghurs, the mega social media platform Facebook. The latest report by Press Gazette has found that Facebook is taking money from the Chinese regime to spread propaganda that plays down Beijing's atrocities against Uyghurs. Facebook has allowed state-backed media outlets like CGTN and China Daily to consistently post content dismissing Western criticism of Uyghur genocide as disinformation. Such false posts have spread to millions of people through the platform. One such propaganda perpetrated by CGTN was a post that promoted the virtues of Xinjiang's vocational training centres. These are detainment facilities where Uyghurs are brainwashed to give up their culture and adopt communist ideals. Several other posts from CGTN are about Islamist terrorism in Xinjiang, a claim that has been used as a reason for the crackdown there. China Daily posted a video on Facebook that called Uyghur detainment camps in Xinjiang straight from the manual of Western media tricks. Another advert on the platform claims the oppressed Xinjiang narrative is a myth Western media refuse to give up. A third post, which costs less than $400 to promote on Facebook, rubbished independent factual reports about Uyghurs. The video reached over 1 million users on the platform. In some cases, Facebook did stop the propaganda adverts, but this was done for technical reasons, like the posts were never advertised as political, not because the information contained in them was false. Many posts reached a broad audience before Facebook removed them. Some of the content continues to remain on the platform. Since 2018, Chinese media outlets have run around 1,000 propaganda posts. 5 such outlets, CGTN, China Xinhua News, China Daily, CCTV and People's Daily, have become some of the most liked Facebook news pages in the world. It is beyond disgusting that Facebook is taking money to promote Chinese state propaganda. It's preposterous for them to claim they hadn't seen that 5 of their 6 most liked news pages were driving division and whitewashing atrocities. No one will believe they hadn't noticed. Imran Ahmed, Chief Executive of the Centre for Countering Digital Hate, told Press Gazette.